All right, so this morning we are making chocolate ice cream. We have a mixture of 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, 1 cup of whole milk, 1/2 cup sugar, and 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. You warm the milk and the cream in a saucepan and you stir in a mixture of the combined cocoa powder and sugar. I whisked those together separately and then I added them to the cream and then heated it up over some warm, heated up on the stove so that it could combine. And then I refrigerated it overnight in the silicone prep bowl. The lid is off, but this makes it very easy to pour it in because you can squeeze this. So it needs to be nice and cold. Here's our ice cream container. And then I also want to show you really quick a little thing to know about this. So the paddle just slips on and also just comes off just as easily. But what I want you to see is for cleaning purposes, there's 2 tabs right here. So if you squeeze the 2 tabs, you can separate the cover from the motor. So this can go in your dishwasher. I usually hand wash it because I'm going to be using it quickly, but it just goes back together just that easily. So to assemble this, put your paddle on, plug this guy in, set it right on here. There's 2 little grooves here that the little cover sets down into, and then, what am I doing wrong? No, and it locks into place. So turn it on, power on, set it for 25 minutes. The paddle will start, and then while it's going, pour in the ice cream. And what happens is the inside of this lower container has been in the freezer for a couple of days. I think it needs a minimum of 12 hours. And you really should have a freezer that's close to 0 degrees temperature. I haven't checked mine lately. I think it'd be a good idea to check it. But you need to be really good and cold so that that bowl gets super chilled all the way through. And then what happens is when the milk mixture hits it, it starts to freeze. The paddle pulls it away. So it freezes in layers and the paddle pulls it away. All right, we're gonna let that run for 25 minutes. We'll be back and let you know how it turns out. All right, so it's looking good. There's 57 seconds left on the timer. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it because it's churned, it's done. So to finish it up, just lift off the lid, right there. Sometimes the paddle stays down in there, which is just fine. And you can see how beautifully turned it is. So just lift the paddle straight up and out. It's usually pretty easy to find someone who will volunteer to lick that off for you. I'm just gonna set it aside for the moment. Here, I'll just set it right there. And then it is recommended that you not use metal utensils, including ice cream scoops, inside this. So I usually use just like a mix and scraper, or I like using a nylon spatula because it allows me to really scrape the edges really well, because where the ice cream is touching the edges, it tends to freeze on there. So we're gonna just, look, it's like soft serve consistency right now. Definitely eatable. It'll be perfect in 2 hours in the freezer. I have found that it gets over hard in the freezer. I guess I'm keeping my freezer really cold these days too. So oftentimes I'll just take the plastic container, or I actually prefer to use my glass leak-proof containers, but they're all in use in the freezer with different kinds of ice cream in them. So I usually stick them in the microwave for about 3 minutes on 60% power, and then they're perfectly scoopable, even when they go in super hard. So that is how we do ice cream at the Pampered Chef. Have a great day. Oh, it's $80 for the set. Comes out June 1st. Host a party, live, virtual, or catalog party in the month of June. You can get this for $32. Contact me.